Welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here with us. Today, we're breaking down a pretty fascinating roadmap, the highly structured curriculum from Vancouver Career College that's designed to completely transform you into a vital healthcare professional. If you've ever wondered exactly what it takes to step behind the pharmacy counter and become the crucial support system for pharmacists and patients alike, well, you are in the right place. We're going to unpack this whole journey step by step. 800. That's it. That is the exact number of hours standing between you and a frontline career in healthcare. It might sound like a massive mountain to climb at first, but when we break down how these 800 hours are actually spent, you're going to see it's a perfectly engineered, highly efficient engine of learning. Okay, let's dive right into this. Our ultimate guide today is the official program outline for the Vancouver Career College Pharmacy Assistant Program. It lays out every single technical, clerical, and medical skill required to successfully enter the pharmacy field. So, here's our agenda for those 800 hours. Starting your pharmacy journey, medical foundations and basics, core pharmacy clinical skills, the real-world practicum, and finally, graduation and career opportunities. Let's jump right in. Part 1. Starting your pharmacy journey, admissions to onboarding. Now, whether you're fresh out of high school or you're someone looking to completely change careers, there's a clear path in for you. The high school pathway just requires proof of graduation. But say you're 19 or older, you can actually take the mature student pathway, provided you can pass the college's general math exam with at least a 50% score. You'll also need to prove your English language proficiency, hitting benchmarks like a 5.5 on the IELTS or a 95 on Duolingo. Oh, and of course, you've got to clear a mandatory criminal record check before heading into any work placement. So how exactly does this timeline work? You aren't just thrown into the deep end, thankfully. The 36 weeks escalate perfectly. You start with a 3-week introductory phase focusing on student success strategies and computer basics. Then, you step up to a 3-week medical foundations phase. After that, you hit the massive 25-week pharmacy assistant phase, followed by a final 5-week block dedicated to professional skills and your workplace practicum. Moving right along to Part 2, medical foundations and basics, learning the language. For 60 hours, you're fully immersed in the foundations of healthcare. Medicine, has its own highly specialized language, and you need to know how to spell and pronounce complex terms to describe bodily systems and pathologies. Just as importantly, you're taught how to communicate. That impression you make in the first 10 to 15 seconds with a patient, absolutely crucial. You'll study human behavior, how to diffuse angry customers, because, let's be real, we've all seen one of those at a pharmacy counter, and how to assist the pharmacist during an unexpected medical emergency right there in the store. All right, Part 3. Core Pharmacy Clinical Skills, the heart of the program. Now, what's really interesting here is that a massive 500 hours, literally the vast majority of your 800-hour journey, is intensely dedicated to your core clinical skills. This is the heavy lifting where you learn pharmacology, anatomy, and the 200 most commonly used Canadian drug names. And right smack in the middle of those 500 hours is an 80-hour block dedicated entirely to pharmaceutical calculations. We aren't just talking about basic arithmetic here. Actually, scratch that. It's more like the math that saves lives. You're going to learn multiple ways of expressing strengths and mastering dispensing language. Getting a calculation wrong in a pharmacy isn't just a bad grade. It can have critical health consequences for a patient. This course ensures you are completely dialed in. All of that precise math feeds directly into compounding, preparing pharmaceutical mixtures from scratch to meet strict NAPRA standards. That's the National Association of Pharmacy Regulatory Authorities. While compounding might sound like complex academic jargon, the program breaks it down into 4 highly tactile, physical steps. You calculate, you measure, you weigh, and you mix. You will literally be getting your hands on the equipment, learning proper cleaning, maintenance, and the delicate techniques required to safely create these prescribed compounds. But listen, a modern pharmacy isn't just mixing powders and making ointments. It's a high-tech data environment. So for 80 hours, you're going to train on Kroll. Sounds like a sci-fi character, right? But it's actually a widely used, highly essential pharmacy software application. You'll learn the meticulous details involved in entering and processing prescriptions. Mastering Kroll makes you incredibly efficient, and more importantly, it makes you immediately valuable to future employers the second you walk through their door. So, the absolutely crucial point here, and this is a distinction heavily emphasized by the College of Pharmacists of British Columbia, is understanding your exact scope of practice. As a pharmacy assistant, you are an unregulated professional. You're the essential support backbone, strictly monitored and supervised by the pharmacist. You don't have the expanded independent prescription processing scope of a regulated pharmacy technician. Understanding this boundary is absolutely key to keeping the pharmacy safe and compliant. Which brings us to part 4, the real-world practicum, putting it to the test. 160. You're going to spend 160 hours, that is 4 full continuous weeks, working in an actual real-world pharmacy environment. Now, this is an unpaid practicum, but the experience is invaluable. You aren't just shadowing here, you are expected to act as a regular employee. During those 160 hours under pressure, you'll be performing high-stakes daily tasks. You'll be taking prescriptions, doing the data entry, generating the labels, and retrieving the medications. You'll handle third-party billing to insurance companies, maintain the inventory of drugs, and, as we learned in the foundation phase, provide excellent customer service. This often includes conflict resolution with stressed or difficult clients, all while communicating flawlessly with the supervising pharmacist. And finally, Part 5, Graduation and Career Opportunities, Your New Reality. Upon graduation, you don't just walk away with a single piece of paper. No way. You actually unlock a suite of official credentials. You earn your Pharmacy Assistant Certificate, your First Aid Level 1 and CPR certification, and your WHMIS certification, which stands for Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System. Together, all of these prove you're a fully capable, compliant, and safe healthcare professional ready to be hired. And all of this translates perfectly into where you can actually work. Under the National Occupational Classification Code 33103, your career opportunities are honestly vast. Yes, for sure, you can work in traditional community and retail pharmacies, but you're also qualified to work in alternative health food businesses, pharmaceutical companies, and even manage sales transactions for rapidly growing internet pharmacy companies. The demand for your specialized support skills really does span across multiple business models. It's a rigorous, incredibly structured path. From basic anatomy all the way to mastering complex software, every single hour is designed to build your competence and your confidence. 800 hours to a completely new career. The pharmacy counter is waiting. So, are you ready for the front line?